to get out. Hannah could have gone with him to his family in Ukraine, but instead she took a walk out in the rain. Through her Berlin, and she thought about how this weather it would pass. And anyway, things had always worked out in the past. She made a kind of inner emigration. She started to feel alien inside, with all the social marginalization. Her sense of place was starting to be tried, but she couldn't stand abandoning her nation. She didn't want it all to pass her by, so people make their inner emigrations, till one by one they have to say goodbye. Well, Sasha had heard about the emigration, and the talk wasn't just in the family anymore, but in the Kharkov streets there was a kind of thaw. "We're going home," said old Saminsky when he filed his application to leave, and Anya already had family in Tel Aviv. But Sasha didn't know. 200 years among Slavs being called Hebrews, Evrei. He knew they'd only be called Russians among Jews. And on the Prospect Lenina autobus, he heard that Saminsky had lost his apartment, was being denied his pass. The weather seemed like it was never going to pass. So he made a kind of inner emigration. He chose to keep his alien inside, with all the bureaucratic frustrations. He chose to keep his status bona fide. And what's the bother finding a new nation? A border isn't art, it's just a frame. So make a secret inner emigration, 'cause the Holy Land and exile are the same. Well, Anat was a Sabra, the daughter of a Sephardic kibbutznik nurse and a Yeke lawyer from Bonn. She fell in love with Kais, born in a PLO refugee camp in southern Lebanon, and they were married in Cyprus. He almost got arrested living with her family in Ramat Gan, so she tried wrapping her hair and living with his family in Hebron. But that didn't work either. They thought about leaving to live with her cousin David in Brooklyn, but he wanted to be able to marry his boyfriend Patrick, so they were moving to Berlin. So she went to the Yaffo beach and stared at the sea and thought about how someday all of this would pass, if only she could find someone to get Kais a pass. So should she make an inner emigration? Tell me what you think she should decide, considering the couple's situation. She'd be better off as someone else's bride. But she and he comprise a kind of nation, the kind we build inside when we're alone. But if they just make inner emigrations, then they'll only have a home when they're at home. Compare yourself. What does all this have to do with you? How does your experience ring true? You're aware yourself. You aren't suffering anyone's regime. You're free to follow every little dream. Be fair to yourself. You needn't be oppressed to feel alone. You don't have to be driven from your home to spare yourself from feeling like a part of the control with an internal diplomatic role. Just make the kind of inner emigration. It's a kind of shift accomplished easily. We all have made our disassociations, whether on the job or in our family. And what could be more irrelevant than nations, where everywhere you go it's buy or sell? If we all make only inner emigration, then everything will only go to hell.